Hi everyone and welcome back. Sorry it's been so long since our last video. We've just been crazy busy over Christmas and a couple of months before with work, family and everything. But we're back now bringing you videos. And today we're bringing you something a little bit different. And you've just got me, Gav's at work. And this week is all about a little adventure I went on last October on a huge 70-foot steel ketch. So if you're from the northeast of England, you may know this boat because it's a famous big yellow yacht, and it's actually owned by the Ocean Youth Trust and is a sail training vessel for young people. So this is the James Cook, so 70 feet, or is that 21 or 22 metres. She's made of steel, she's got 2 masts, so she's a ketch, and she circumnavigated the world, and she spends a lot of time in the Baltic Sea and the North Sea. She also takes part in the tall ships races, and she was involved in last year's, and we've got some photographs from our good yachty neighbour Andy. Thanks Andy for these. I think these were taken down in Hartlepool.
James Cook, all the way in, Ocean Youth Trust North. James Cook's been a regular visitor here. They like our Stand in 40 Act 2. UK registered boat.
Just for my information, we were very strong, we don't have the footer, is that right?
Yeah, I think you can see we're quite busy up here. Hello, James Cook. Launched in 1987, she's 21 metres. She has a very smart butcher crew, good seamanship.
And here's a little map of where the race begins and ends. Last summer she was primarily based in our marina, running sail training trips for local young people. And at the end of the season she needed to go down to Fox's Marina in Ipswich for her annual refit. So they needed a few volunteer crew for this, and I put my name down. I thought it would be a really good experience, and it was. So before I show you all about that, and Storm Babet nearly wreaked havoc with it, I will say as well, I'm just going to show you a little bit of the local area. Here we've got the pier ends there from the Tyne into the North Sea. We'll show you a little bit more about the lighthouses later because they've been damaged in the storm. Over to this side we've got Tynemouth, and over to this side we've got South Shields. I've got to point out the building at the back. All the glass is actually transit van windscreens. I'll go and get you a bit of a close-up. We're just heading back to Takazar now, but I just thought I'd show you the famous North Shields fish quay. It's not so busy today. I think all the boats must be out at sea. The black boat is the Barbara Ann. She's one of our neighbours in our marina. She must be down here dropping her fish off. A few days before we were due to leave, Storm Babet arrived and battered the east coast of England, causing a lot of damage, destruction and really massive waves out at sea. Here I'm stood on the balcony of one of the old lighthouses. The wind is just coming straight off the sea, could hardly stand up or breathe. This is the map from Windy, and it shows the wind hammering the east coast of England. The pinks and the purples are really bad. So this was the forecast for the waves and the swell for the peak of Storm Babet. It shows at midnight the swell was 10.6 feet, and that increased to 18.4 foot at noon. So this is the actual wave height that was recorded, and this data is taken from our local wave buoy, which is about 10 to 15 miles up the coast from us. And it shows here in this column the average wave height, and the data is taken every half an hour. So if we look down that column, we can see that we were averaging about 6.5 meters up to about 8.5, 9 meters. And if you're wondering what waves that big look like, here you go. These are the pier ends that you saw in the beginning of the video. Thanks to our friend Helen for these amazing photographs. So if you look closer to this picture, you'll notice that the sea's smashed the top of South Shields Lighthouse off. It's also done a lot of structural damage to both piers. We didn't think we were going to get away on the Monday, but the wind did die down. There was still a bit of a swell out there, but at 9 PM we left Royal Keys Marina for our journey south. And this is the route that we took. We locked out of Royal Keys Marina onto the River Tyne and headed out into the North Sea. Here we turned south and went down the east coast of England. We went past Yorkshire, we went past Hull, Grimsby and the Wash before arriving around Felixstowe docks to go up the River Orwell. We were quite far out to sea as we wanted to avoid the lobster pots as there's loads down our coast, and with us doing night sailing they're really hard to see. We use red lights on a night on board, as white lights can be a little bit too glarish and leave you squinting and unable to see, especially if you're going from inside to outside. This was my first time on the night watch and I absolutely loved it. I love seeing the stars and the gas platforms and the lights from other ships, and we was trekked to a really nice sunrise.
Yeah.
had a few visitors coming along for the ride.
Returning the favour. Thank you very much. Oh.
Oh, this is what daylight looks like.
And here's a little tour of the inside. So down here is the sleeping area. There's 2 cabins for crew and everyone else sleeps in bunk beds.
And also, it's got a fairly decent camera.
This is right at the bow and this is a storage area. So this is a close-up of the ship's log that you saw in the previous clip. It's the responsibility of the guys on watch to fill this in, and we did it every hour. So I'm just going to quickly go through and just tell you what sort of information we would write on here. So we start with the ship's time, and then the course to steer. So this is the direction we were steering the last hour. So as you can see, we were 140 degrees, and then a little bit later on we changed to 190 degrees. This column here is the run, and I actually can't remember what this was, so if someone could just remind me, just drop us a comment below. The next one is the tidal stream. So this is the direction and the speed of the tidal stream. So you can see there's an arrow here that shows that at this hour the tidal stream was going in this direction at 0.6 knots. The following hour it changed to upwards at 0.2 knots. We'd get this information from the charts in the tidal almanacs. Then we've got the position in latitude and longitude, which we just take from the chart plotter, and the method we just write GPS. Then we've got some information about weather here, so we've got the winds, so the direction and speed, the sea states, that's whether it's slight, moderate, rough, etc. The cloud cover, which is measured in 8. Now, I've got no idea why it's measured in 8s. All I know is that 8/8 is fully cloud, and 1/8 would be not much cloud at all. So if anyone can tell me why it's measured in 8s, just drop us a comment below. Then we've got the visibility here, which was good most of the time, and the bar, which is the pressure taken from the ship's barometer. The next column is whether the sails are set, so we would write if what sails were up. On the next page we've got some information about the engine. So we didn't have to go in the engine room for this, there was gauges behind us. So we start off, is the engine on or off? What's the revs if it's on? What's the oil pressure? What's the temperature? And then here there's a section for you to write any comments. You may notice in the videos that there's not that many sails up on the boat. That's because there wasn't much wind, and as this was a delivery trip, the aim of the game was to get to the destination as fast as possible. We did, however, try to have some sails up, as these steady the boat even when motoring. Without them, the boat would just roll from side to side. The further south we got, the better the weather. We were getting close to our destination here, and it was like we'd just arrived in a different country. This is the route we took from the sea, going past Felixstowe docks, up the River Orwell to Fox's Marina in Ipswich. I didn't film us arriving as it had dropped dark and we were all in a big rush to get to the pub. This is the next morning at Fox's Marina, and before we all departed we stripped James Cook of her sails just so that she was ready to be lifted out. I'm so pleased that I did the trip. It's really helped me with my confidence. I now I've got experience of night watches and handling a larger yacht. There was a lot of seasickness on board. It was so rolly on the first night and the first day. Over half the crew were physically seasick, so we had all the sick buckets out lined up at the back of the boat, and even the ones that weren't physically sick were feeling sick. I remember one day I felt terrible myself, and it was so difficult to do anything, like any normal tasks like cooking or eating or getting washed or getting chained. It was just a case of when you come off watch, you'd just get straight into bed. You'd just take your foulies off and get into bed in whatever you were wearing. One of the best things about the trip was meeting new people. I feel like I've got loads of new friends now, and there was times on the trip that people felt a bit down or a bit low, and it was just nice to bounce off each other. And even if that's just someone coming and having a chat and a bit of a laugh with you, making you a cup of tea. That brings us to the end of the video, so I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. See you next time.